بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we'll be continuing our weekly sessions of the parables of the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses a variety of different methods to convey very meaningful and insightful messages and lessons to us. Our discussion today takes us to Surah Al-Kahf, which we all know very well for the story of Ashab al-Kahf. However, Surah Al-Kahf includes many other stories as well. And each one surrounds a different theme with a different lesson that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aims to conveys to us. The second story that comes in the surah, which starts from verse number 32. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلًا, and give them the example. رَجُلَيْنِ جَعَلْنَا لِأَحَدِهِمَا جَنَّتَيْنِ مِنْ أَعْنَابٍ وَحَفَفْنَاهُمَا بِنَخْلٍ وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمَا زَرْعًا. Give them the example of two men, one of whom we gave two gardens. جَعَلْنَا لِأَحَدِهِمَا جَنَّتَيْنِ مِنْ أَعْنَابٍ, a garden of grapes. وَحَفَفْنَاهُمَا بِنَخْلٍ, two gardens of grapes, and we surrounded them with date palm trees. وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمَا زَرْعًا, and in between them we gave all kinds of other vegetation and crops. Now, in previous times, grapes and dates were seen as the highest types of fruits, the most elite type, the most noble type, the best types from all the fruits. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that this person, we gave him two gardens, the two best gardens they can possibly be. And not just with those two fruits, but وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمَا زَرْعًا, and we gave all types of other vegetation and fruits, and things would grow as well. Meaning this person had it all. And Mufassirin say that وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمَا زَرْعًا, it also includes that this person had more wealth as well. He had other types of wealth. Just like a person today might have a property that yields a lot of income, but then they also have a business that's doing very well. And they have another business, and they have this investment, and they have this, and they have this. This person was very well off. This person had everything that he needed. And he was living what he thought was his best life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the gardens more. He said, كِلْتَ الْجَنَّتَيْنِ آتَتْ أُكُلَهَا وَلَمْ تَظْلِمْ مِنْهُ شَيْئًا. Those two gardens gave continuous yields. A person who has a garden, even just think of it to the extent when someone does some gardening at home. Maybe you plant a small apple tree, or some tomatoes, or some this, or some that. Your main concern now is what's going to grow out of there. What am I going to get back from here? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, آتَتْ أُكُلَهَا. They gave their yield again and again and again. وَلَمْ تَظْلِمْ مِنْهُ شَيْئًا. They never fell short. So not only did he have it all, but everything was functioning just as one would like it to as well. Add to that, وَفَجَّرْنَا خِلَالَهُمَا نَهَرًا. We made a stream flow in between the gardens. So now this person did not even have to make any effort to water the garden. Water was already flowing through it. So he had the best of properties, the best of wealth, of the highest quality, in the best quantities, no worries about where the wealth is coming from. It's coming in continuously and passively. No effort is being put in. Everything is set. And Allah adds again, وَكَانَ لَهُ ثَمَرٌ, and he had more wealth as well. Now what happens? He says, فَقَالَ لِصَاحِبِهِ وَهُوَ يُحَاوِرُهُ. This person who had all the wealth, he tells his companion, remember there were two men in the example. He tells his companion, أَنَا أَكْثَرُ مِنْكَ مَالًا وَأَعَزُّ نَفَرًا. You know what? I have more money than you. أَنَا أَكْثَرُ مِنْكَ مَالًا وَأَعَزُّ نَفَرًا. And I have أَعَزُّ نَفَرًا. Mufassirin say it could mean that I have a better family than you. I have children who are better than what you have. Or it could mean that I, people like me. I know a lot of people. I have connections. So I'm way better off than you. I got lots of money and I know people. So meaning I have power. Anything I want, I can get it done. I have the money to get it done and I know people that can get it done for me. وَدَخَلَ جَنَّتَهُ. He entered his garden one day, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes in him as وَهُوَ ظَالِمٌ لِنَفْسِهِ, while wronging himself. He says, قَالَ مَا أَظُنُّ أَن تَبِيدَ هَذِهِ أَبَدًا. I don't think these gardens are ever going to perish. Because they're perfect. It's like someone who has a business that's running, right, and it's at its peak. Everything is going perfectly. They don't think it's ever going to go down. And same thing with taking at any level. It could be something small you're doing at home. It could be something major to the level of a country, a superpower, an empire. Right? The Roman Empire, when it was at its peak, they never even fathomed that it's going to break apart. So this is where he was in his mindset. ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا. And he took it a step further. وما أظن الساعة قائمة. You know what? Things are going so good for me. I don't think the day of judgment is going to come either. I'm living the best life. It's so comfortable. It's so perfect. Nothing can go wrong. It's never going to end. Judgment is not going to come. وَلَا إِرْجِتُ إِلَى رَبِّي. Even if, he says, even if I do have to go back to Allah, to my Lord, لَأَجِدَنَّ خَيْرًا مِنْهَا مُنْقَلَبًا. I know that because of how much I have here, I'm going to have that much over there as well. Now, his other companion who is talking to now speaks up. He says, well, firstly, he speaks at this point only. And Mufassirin say that, look, this person, he was listening to this person insult him first. Right? Someone comes to you and they just say something, I have more money than you. No matter what tone they say it in, it's going to offend you, even if it's true. And he said, I have more money than you, I have more of this, I know more people, I'm way well off, you have nothing. His companion did not say anything at that time. But when this person started making claims against Allah, that judgment is not going to come, even if I go, I'm going to get even better over there. Now he speaks up. And he doesn't defend himself. He says, أَكَفَرْتَ بِالَّذِي خَلَقَكَ. Are you doing kufr to the one who created you? And kufr here, Mufassirin say that it means most likely the meaning of to be unthankful. That ungrateful. Are you being so ungrateful to the one that created you from dirt, then from a dirty water, ثُمَّ سَوَّاكَ رَجُلًا, and he made you into this perfect man? He says, لَكِنَّهُ اللَّهُ رَبِّي, he's still advising him. He says, this is Allah is my Lord. وَلَا أُشْرِكُ بِرَبِّي أَحَدًا. I will never do shirk with my Lord. And the question arises that where did shirk come into this from? When the person, he was just boasting about what he has, and he somewhat rejected the day of judgment, but there wasn't any apparent shirk. Mufassirin say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling his attribution of his success to himself as shirk. That he has made himself the deity who has given him all of this. And he tells him, وَلَوْلَا إِذْ دَخَلْتَ جَنَّتَكَ قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. Why isn't it that when you entered your garden you said ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله? ما شاء Allah, what does it mean? It means what Allah wills. Meaning all this came from Allah. إن ترني أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا. Yes. So after he defends what he said against Allah, then he comes back to himself. He said, yes, maybe I do have less wealth and money than you. Maybe I have less children, I know less people. But be careful. فَعَسَى رَبِّي أَن يُؤْتِيَنِي خَيْرًا مِنْ جَنَّتِكَ. It could be that Allah gives me better than your gardens. وَيُرْسِلَ عَلَيْهَا حُسْبَانًا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ فَتُصْبِحَ صَعِيدًا زَلَقًا. Allah sends a storm, a calamity on your gardens and leaves it completely buried. Sa'idan zalaqa means a completely smooth ground. أو يصبح ماؤها غورا فلن تستطيع له طلبا. Or the water that is flowing between the gardens, it sinks deep into the ground and now you can't access that either. So this is what he advises him. Now before we move forward, a couple of points. This person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this person. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains it each thing as saying that we did. We gave him. We gave جَعَلْنَا لِأَحَدِهِمَا. We gave one of them 2 gardens. حَفَفْنَاهُمَا. We surrounded them with date palm trees. جَعَلْنَا بَيْنَ. This na is the pronoun that means we did. جَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمَا زَرْعًا. We made the vegetation in between and gave him other means of wealth. And after all of this, وَفَجَّرْنَا خِلَالَهُمَا نَهَرًا. After all of the na and na and na, when this person starts to speak, he changes it to I. Allah contrasts this. Ma adhunnu. I don't think my garden is ever going to perish. And me and I and me and I. Khair. This person now, his companion advises him that, why are you saying this? You should say, MashaAllah, be thankful to Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأُحِيطَ بِثَمَرِهِ. His gardens were surrounded, meaning they were destroyed. Now, this is such a daqiq, a minute point in the words of the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you saw how much He described the gardens. That it has this, that is surrounded with this, and in between this, and there's this is flowing, and this. Allah destroys everything with just 2 words. أُحِيطَ بِثَمَرِهِ. It's done. Showing that all that Allah gave him, it has no value in the sight of Allah. And Allah doesn't say what it was surrounded with. Some say it was a fire, some say it was a flood, some say it was this. But Allah is saying it doesn't matter what it was. It's destroyed, it's gone. فَأَصْبَحَ يُقَلِّبُ كَفَّيْهِ عَلَى مَا أَنْفَقَ فِيهَا. This person started wailing and crying and yelling and turning his hands upside down that everything is gone. Expressing sorrow on, again, even after it's destroyed, عَلَى مَا أَنْفَقَ فِيهَا, on what he spent in it. He was concerned about that. وَهِيَ خَاوِيَةٌ عَلَى عُرُوشِهَا. While Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes it, it was turned upside down. وَيَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أُشْرِكْ بِرَبِّي أَحَدًا. And he says, if only I had never done shirk with my Lord. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends this discussion by saying, وَلَمْ تَكُنْ لَهُ فِئَةٌ يَنْصُرُونَهُ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ. At this point, when it was all destroyed, none of the connections, people, helpers that he thought he had could have helped him. وَمَا كَانَ مُنْتَشِرًا. He could not even help himself. So, this example, this parable, it is a very profound one because the meaning is so relevant to every single person today. This person with the gardens, he had a quality that I've been trying to find a word for, but I couldn't. It's a combination of narcissism and pride and arrogance and conceit, saying that I did this. And we have this eye, this disease of the eye in every element of our life. Anything that we see some success in, something is going well, we say, oh, look what I did, look what I accomplished. I put in years and years of effort and I got this done. I have such a great family. I raised this family. I do this. I do this. I help others. I take care of people. This I, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us two entire pages about this to get rid of that I. And the biggest sign that it is not us who does anything for ourselves is that we look at other people who are maybe doing the same effort, putting in the same amount of work, but they don't have what you have. They don't have what you have. They went through the same education, maybe. Maybe they have the same degree, and now you have a very good job and they don't. Can they say that I studied, I stayed up nights, and I did this, and I passed my exams at the top of the class, and I did this? They could, but they don't have the results, so they don't. The issue is that we ascribe our results to our efforts, when it is Allah and only Allah that gives us those results. Whether we had those efforts or not. Yes, from our side, we do whatever effort we can. But at the end of the day, Allah gives us what He wants to, how He wants to. There are people that have more than us and did not put in the efforts that we have put to get there. Allah gave them. But as soon as a person develops this mentality that I did this, I am doing this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts to take that away from that person. Our task at every point of our life, whether it's something small in our house, whether it's something we're doing in society, whether we're doing something at a provincial, national, international level, but it doesn't matter what you're doing. We always ascribe the success of everything back to Allah. When we do that, what does Allah say? لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you express that gratitude to Allah, Allah promises to give you even more. But as soon as we turn to ourselves, then we're going to experience the same thing. Everything's going to be turned upside down. One day you had something, you were perfectly well. Next day you found out you're diagnosed with some fatal disease, and your whole life turned upside down. It's gone. Now what happened to all your efforts? You still did those efforts, didn't you? But what you thought you had because of those efforts now is gone. So, and I say this in every session, Ramadan is a time for us to take account of our lives. We look at every element of our life. How are we doing it? Why are we doing it? What mentality, mindset are we doing them with? And this is one of those points. How do we view our life? Right? Same issue was with Qarun. Right? Allah had given him so much. مَا إِنَّ مَفَاتِحَهُ لَتَنُوءُ بِالْعُصْبَةِ أُولِي الْقُوَّةِ. Entire caravans of people, some say animals, had to carry the keys of his treasures. And when his people told him that, give zakat, give charity from what Allah has given you, he said, whoa. إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. I got this based off my own knowledge. That same I, that I knew how to do things, I worked and I got this wealth. You want me to give it now? And we all know the fate. فَخَسَفْنَا بِهِ وَبِدَارِهِ الْأَرْضِ. Allah destroyed him and plunged him into the ground. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really give us the ability to be mindful of this. It's very easy to get lost in our day-to-day affairs and think that our efforts are giving us the results that we are seeing. That is not the case. Asbab means efforts are there, but the results are never dependent or exclusively a result of those asbab, of those means. Allah controls all things, as minute as they may be in our lives and as major as they may be. But if we continue to turn back to Allah in this, we thank Allah for what He gives us, ask Him to give us more, and we ask Him to protect us from losing what we have. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to give us more and more and more as He has promised. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give myself first and all of us the ability to implement this in our lives and to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He deserves. واخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين جزاكم الله خير السلام عليكم ورحمه الله